Friends, in this video, I am going to discuss the UGC Draft Regulations 2025 for direct recruitment of faculty and the Vice Chancellor. UGC brought out new regulations for minimum qualifications for faculty recruitment and promotion in the year 2018. National Educational Policy 2020 has been approved by the Cabinet of Government of India on 29th July 2020. Different states started implementing NEP 2020 fully or partially. As a consequence of the NEP 2020, UGC has brought out the Draft Regulations 2025 for minimum qualifications for appointment and promotion of the faculty in higher education. All HEIs, all higher education institutions shall, as soon as possible, but not later than 6 months of coming into force of these regulations, take effective steps to amend their statutes, ordinances, or other statutory provisions governing it to bring the same in accordance with these regulations. UGC Draft Regulations 2025 mentioned this clause also, which is very, very important. In this video, I am going to discuss a few important points in the UGC Draft Regulations 2025 under two different heads, namely direct recruitment of faculty and recruitment of Vice Chancellor. Direct recruitment of faculty. General guidelines. If the discipline or subject chosen in the 4-year undergraduate program or postgraduate program is different from the chosen discipline or subject in the PhD, the discipline or subject in which a candidate obtained PhD shall be considered eligible for appointment as assistant professor, associate professor, or professor in the discipline or subject. Another guideline, if the discipline or subject chosen in the 4-year undergraduate program or postgraduate program is different from the chosen discipline or subject in the NET or SET, the discipline or subject in which a candidate qualified NET or SET shall be considered eligible for appointment as assistant professor in the discipline or subject. The candidates registered for the PhD prior to July 11, 2009 shall be governed by the provisions of the then existing ordinances or bylaws or regulations of the institution awarding the degree, and such PhD candidates shall be exempted from the NET or SLET or SET requirement for recruitment and appointment of assistant professor. One or more qualifications. This is a very, very crucial guideline. Please, I draw your kind attention. One or more qualifications in class 12 or equivalent, UG, PG, and PhD in Indian language medium may be encouraged. This is an important point of concern that needs discussion. In most of the states in the country, in the state boards, students study class 12 or equivalent in both English and the regional language. In CBSE system also, in many states and especially southern states, students study class 12 in English medium only. In ICSE system, there is provision for the study in English medium only. When the students study class 12 in English medium, their natural choice is to study UG, PG, and PhD programs in English medium only. The central universities, IITs, ISERs, NITs, and quite a few state universities offer English only as the medium of instruction in UG, PG, and PhD programs. In view of the above clause, the study in Indian language medium may be encouraged is questionable. That needs discussion. It cannot be accepted. Publication of book chapters and books in Indian languages may be encouraged. This is another clause. When a good number of students study in English medium, writing books or book chapters in English must be treated at par with those in Indian languages. Now, these are the considered qualifications in different areas. Notable contributions to be considered by the selection committee for recruitment and promotion of university and college teachers are: number one, innovative teaching contribution. Very important, sir. Research or teaching lab development, consultancy or sponsored research funding as a principal investigator or co-principal investigator. Teaching contributions in Indian languages, teaching, learning and research in Indian knowledge system, student internship or project supervision, digital content creation for MOOCs, community engagement and service, startup as per the intellectual property policies of the HA, registered with the Register of Companies as the founding promoter. You can see here, there are 9 different areas of contribution that can be considered by the selection committee. Innovative teaching contribution is considered. Teaching contributions in Indian languages is considered. Teaching, learning and research in Indian knowledge system is considered. Community engagements and service also is considered. For the first time, such 9 different areas of contribution are considered by the selection committee for recruitment and promotion of university and college teachers. Please note this point. The research publications should be in peer-reviewed journals, and the book chapter or book must be published by a recognized academic or professional publisher. Self-published book chapters or books will not be considered. The selection committee shall decide whether the research publications are in a peer-reviewed journal, whether the publication of a book or book chapter is by a reputed publisher, and whether the contributions are notable based on the recommendations of the 3 external subject experts of the selection committee. Now, let us discuss the direct recruitment of assistant professor, that is academic level 10, a 4-year UG degree with at least 75% marks, note down, 75% marks, or a PG degree with at least 55% marks or an equivalent grade, and also a PhD degree, right? This is one kind of qualification, right? A 4-year UG degree with at least 75% marks, or a PG degree with at least 55% marks and also a PhD degree, or a PG degree with at least 55% marks and qualification in the National Eligibility Test NET conducted by the UGC, CSIR, ICIR, etc., or a similar test like SLET or SET. This is one kind of category. Then another kind, or a PG degree, for example, MA or MTech with at least 55% marks or an equivalent grade. That means those who possess MD or MTech, PhD is not necessary, and then NET or GATE qualification, all that is not necessary for the appointment of assistant professor at the academic level 10. Please note this point. Now, direct recruitment of associate professor, academic level 13A, a 4-year UG degree with at least 75% marks, or a PG degree with at least 55% marks or an equivalent grade and a PhD degree. Similar qualification, basic qualification as that of assistant professor. Besides that, a minimum of 8 years teaching and or research experience in a university or college, or a minimum of 8 years experience in teaching and or research in a position equivalent to that of an assistant professor or associate professor in a research institution, or any other Indian or foreign institutions of comparable standards. Then also a minimum of 8 research publications in peer-reviewed journals, or publication of 8 book chapters, or publication of a book as an author, or 2 books as a co-author by a reputed publisher, or 8 granted patents. Look at this. Research publications, or book chapters, or books, or patents. And another point, a combination of research publications, book chapters, books, and granted patents totaling 8 can be considered. Now, direct recruitment of professor, academic level 14, a 4-year UG degree with at least 75% marks, or a PG degree with at least 55% marks or an equivalent grade, and a PhD degree. That is a must. Besides that, regarding experience, a minimum of 10 years of teaching and or research experience at the level of assistant professor or associate professor of a university or college, or Indian or foreign research institutions of comparable standards, of which at least 3 years should be at the level of an associate professor or equivalent. Then a minimum of 10 research publications in peer-reviewed journals, or publication of 10 book chapters, or publication of 4 books as an author, or 8 books as a co-author by a reputed publisher, or 10 granted patents. A combination of research publications, books, book chapters, and granted patents totaling 10 can be considered. And one more thing, sir. As a sole supervisor, one doctoral candidate was awarded a PhD degree, or as a co-supervisor, 2 doctoral candidates were awarded PhD degrees. All these are minimum qualifications, please note. Then professor of practice. HEIs being engaged experts or professionals or practitioners from industries and other professions for teaching and research. The engagement of the professor of practice will be exclusive of the sanctioned course. The number of professors of practice in a HEI at any point of time should not exceed 10% of the sanctioned course. The provisions given in the UGC guidelines for engaging professors of practice shall be applicable with regard to tenure, selection procedure, duties, and responsibilities. Let us see the minimum qualifications for the post of Vice Chancellor. A distinguished person possessing high academic qualifications and demonstrated administrative and leadership capabilities, strong alignment to constitutional values, strong social commitment, belief in teamwork, pluralism, ability to work with diverse people, with a flair for innovation and a global outlook in higher education, along with the overall vision of the institution and abilities to manage complex situations with a minimum of 10 years of experience as a professor in an HEI, or at a senior level in reputed research or academic administrative organizations, or at a senior level in industry also. Public administration, public policy, and or public sector undertakings with a proven track record of significant academic or scholarly contributions shall be eligible to be appointed as Vice Chancellor. You can see here is a person with experience and at a senior level from industry also is eligible for the post of Vice Chancellor in the draft regulations. The Vice Chancellor shall hold office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he or she enters upon his or her office, or until he or she attains the age of 70 years, whichever is earlier, and shall be eligible for reappointment for one more term by following the procedure prescribed for the appointment of Vice Chancellor. If a Vice Chancellor is not appointed as per these regulations, such an appointment shall be null and void. It may be noted that in many state universities, the term of Vice Chancellor is only 3 years, with reappointment provision for a second term. But according to the draft regulations of UGC, the tenure of VC is 5 years, with a provision for second term of 5 years by following the selection procedure as per the guidelines. As the UGC regulations are mandatory as mentioned in the draft regulations, the state universities have to modify the statutes and ordinances as applicable in line with the UGC regulations. Please note this point, sir. Conclusion. The quality of higher education depends upon the academic leadership. The eminent academicians must be recruited as the Vice Chancellors. The quality of education, higher education depends upon the high faculty members also, high quality faculty members also, to teach, that is to instruct, expose, explore and inspire the students, and also be innovative and creative. To achieve this end, colleges and universities must select thoughtful, creative and fearless minds to carry it in teaching. With an abundance of talent in teaching and scholarship, a culture of innovation may be built in the universities that will serve as a basis for vibrant economy, society, and polity in the country. Thank you very much.